In the end, it took less than 30 years for the world as we know it to fall. 95% of the population died. There were a litany of causes, not that it mattered in the end. Our infrastructure failed, and with no electricity, our communications, lights, and internet failed too. There weren't even enough survivors left to tend the fields and care for the remaining livestock. As if any of us had any of the necessary skills. Those few of us who remained barricaded ourselves into makeshift fortresses, although they had no idea what we thought we were hiding from. To paraphrase that ass T.S. Eliot, not with a bang, but with a whimper, the world ended. Almost. In the late 2050s, the builders ended the crisis by combining biology, precision mechanics, and thermohydraulics to make constructs from the dead, human and otherwise. These automatons took up all the necessary repetitive tasks that keep us alive. The constructs follow algorithms and programmable, mindless cycles. The dead of all species have taken the place of slaves, and like those slaves, they have become the basis on which our recovery and our economy grow. They are everywhere. As humans, we have lost almost everything. But we do have what humanity has always had. We have hope. Hello, this is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and these wonderful people have agreed to come and play a game with me this evening, and that makes me very happy. So, these wonderful people are, in an order so I don't forget anybody, because it's been a long time, but I've done it. Let's start with Bison underscore Stonefist, who doesn't have his right name in Zoom. That's why you got picked. Don't fix that now. First, tell us where you're doing, what you're up to, and then fix your thing.
Well, what I'm up to stuff.
Good.
For the most part, you can find me here on Wednesdays, playing Linus Longshadows, the Halfling Fighter, in our show The Deeper Delve, which is Lost Mine of Phandelver. Good
Yes.
times. We're just finishing that stuff up. There's my Twitch. I believe on Monday we will be doing we're going to be running Pulp on Tabletop Simulator. I'm trying to remember all this stuff at once. Me and Kevin will be doing it on my channel on Monday at the normal Dirty 20 time, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern.
And then in future, when secret projects start on Monday,
Yes.
we will be earlier.
Yes.
And then we will raid you.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how that's going to work. So yeah,
that's us.
What else? So you're here 2 nights a week, and then there 1 night a week. Excellent, thank you. Next, let's go to our lore master, part of the art department, and all-round organizational person that makes me look good because I'm just a mess without them. Robin, thank you, first of all, and where can we find you?
Well, you're welcome. I didn't know I was part of the art department. There's more of us.
Well, there's 2 of you here who kind of, yeah, as far as I'm concerned.
Am I part of the art department?
We were never free.
Congratulations, we have an art department. Yay. Look what I just did.
But I'm Thunderscape7 most anywhere on the internet, usually on the Discord. But I do have a Twitter that I'm most active on. Haven't posted a lot recently, but I'm in the process of getting ready to post it. Been busy. But yeah, I'm hanging out here either in a game or usually in chat.
Yeah, in the Discord. Thank you. We'll use that to do this. Bam. Did I spell it right? I spelled it right. Yeah. All right, let's just keep going. Next, we have the fantastic, the wonderful, the charming. They're both looking at me, going, "Is it me? Is it me? Is it me?" Wayward Knight. Where are you doing stuff?
I am a Detroit-based actor and artist. I sell my art on the internet at that link.
Bam.
Support your local artists and your small artist friends. I am also let's see. How do I put this? I am participating in the Secret Monday project that will be announced very soon.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
But I'm very excited for it.
Yes.
And it's gonna be lit.
It is going to be amazing, and it
You
is
can
going
also
to...
find me basically all the time on the Discord. So.
Yeah. And that Magic Monday thing is going to fill in our schedule. That will take us to 7 days a week, if they all go off according to plan. So, one person left to talk to. Phil, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Where can we find you? What are you doing?
I'm currently playing this game right here.
Yes.
But where you can find me is you can find me lurking. So you can't find me.
Yes.
No, I have no.
He cannot be perceived.
Yes, I cannot be perceived at all.
In real life, he's a rogue with +9 to stealth.
Exactly. And online, I'm hacker proof. Yeah, that's a challenge to everyone. Hack me.
If you double tap him, you can see his stats.
No, you can hack me pretty easily. Just please don't.
Just don't, yes.
Yeah.
And on that happy thought, around me, like I just said, we're about to go something like 7 days a week very soon. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, let's get to this. As it said in the preview, Hero Forge is what we use to make our character art. The art assets originally were taken from Pixabay, the ones that aren't Hero Forge, and they were manipulated by part of our art department, otherwise known as Thunderscape 7. And I cut some holes in it and put pictures in them. So, let's get to the business at hand. And let's start in a certain mansion in a certain fancy part of town. Artemis, you got, as always, a letter that says, come here, job to do. And you went to your patron's home and you went to the workshop, and there's another letter on the table that says, take this silver foil and these metal frames and make me a lamp frame. There's a sort of a drawing as well. It's like the very thin metallic film. It's like weather balloon sort of material. It's reflective on one side and white on the other. And there's all this framing material and a small gas lamp. And they basically want you to make this big soft light effect out of that.
They want me to make the Hindenburg into a lamp?
Basically, yes. Yeah. That is a fair assessment, yes. Make it look like it's on fire, are your specific instructions. No. But that, I mean, it's a simple job. I'm not going to make you roll for anything, but I am going to give you credit for a create on your character advancement wheels, because it's what you do, right? So,
yes.
You bang that up overnight, easy.
Oh, crap.
You find a way to hide the gas tubing so that it just looks like the lamp sort of floating out there on an impossible little handle. Anyway, you get that done, and just as dawn...
Get very little sleep.
Yes, almost none. And as dawn rolls in, you're finished. And as usual, you know there's no point in hanging around. You just leave, right? You just leave it there, and you head out. And it's at that point where the sun's just about to come up. It's kind of a false dawn. There's a light over there to the east, but the sun itself hasn't risen yet. So it's kind of hard to see. There's still no shadows. It's still dark in most places. And you hear out of the darkness the, whatever you, the only voice you've ever actually heard on this entire place. Is this child's voice, and you've talked to them a couple times before. Their name is Thomas, and from what you can tell, they hardly ever go inside. They're almost always out here. And again, as you're leaving, you hear from in the bushes, "Hey,
Hi.
what did you make this time?"
A lamp out of foil that I made look like it was kind of floating.
Cool. A cop was here looking for you.
Cop?
Yep.
Oh,
I talked him into going away.
oh, okay.
Are you wanted?
I highly doubt that. My brother is with the militia.
Oh, kind of tall, thinnish. Looks like he'd get lost if somebody didn't lead him somewhere.
2 of the 3 correct, yes.
You're right, he's not that tall. It's just like a child's natural timing, right?
Looks a little bit like he hasn't slept in 2 years.
Yeah, he was here. He was looking for you.
Well, okay, did he say why?
I'm gonna take a tiny bit of license with this. He said he was going to the scrap.
Okay, thank you for letting me know.
You go there lots, right?
Yeah,
So what's it like out there?
it's a mixture of things, both literally and figuratively. A lot of scrap, a lot of weird devices that you may never have seen before, but it's also dangerous and tricky.
So that's why your brother said I should steal stuff from in town?
I guess. He told you to steal stuff.
He said that's how I was going to become a cop. I should search places and find stuff.
If that's what he said, yes, but staying in town is probably the best way to do that.
Yeah, there's lots of empty places to take stuff from.
Yeah.
What did you make again? A lamp?
Yeah, gas lamp. That looks like it's kind of floating. It's made out of, well, the lamp fixture and thin silver foil.
Huh. He listened. And you hear thunk as somebody drops like off of a branch they've been sitting on onto the ground, and just start the sound of bare feet just walking away across the grass into the darkness towards the big house.
Well, she will think for a second about her brother saying that he should take things to be in the militia. And she's not sure if she fully believes that or not. It kind of sounds like him, but also it's a weird thing to tell a child. But she assumes it's for the project for Verite, because he otherwise would have no reason to go to the scrap. And so she'll head that direction.
Okay. As you do, you pass by your house on the way. It's right there, so why not? And as you look over towards the door, there's some shrubberies around the front, and some little fencing and ornamental shit. And very poorly hiding in a shrubbery and looking into your front window is another fairly young person. This one's probably 17, 18, 19. But they're sort of hiding in a shrub with their butt sticking out and their face like almost pressed up against one of your windows, looking through the window.
Can she kind of walk quietly up behind them
Oh yeah, yep.
and like stick the toe of her boot out and like kind of tap the back of the legs?
The first time you do it, they kind of kick back at you and go, and then they stop and realize what they've, and then the head just comes around like it's rock. They just, I don't wanna. And eventually, this face comes around. We just lost him. And when he comes back, we'll have to move the cameras. But that's okay. We'll fix it in a minute. So for now, just look away, everyone. But yeah. There's a young lady of, like I said, around that 20, 21 age, who has just been looking in your window, turns back and looks at you and says, I just wanted to see your stuff. That doesn't sound better. I wanted to see you build stuff?
More or less. usually more art pieces, but yes.
Can you teach me?
Sure. You're interested in art.
Yes. I wanted to do it since I was a lot younger, but my parents won't let me, so I convinced them that I'm babysitting. So if I was to come over here, could you teach me how to weld and shit? I'm sorry, weld and stuff?
Sure. I can do that. What's your name?
Carol?
Well, I'm Artemis.
I know, I've been looking in your window for weeks.
Well,
They're still standing in the bush, like they're no longer hiding, but they're standing in the shrubbery having this conversation with you.
Well, I have an errand I need to run, actually. But maybe tomorrow. You gonna come over?
Okay. Some notes. There it is.
She's not gonna ask questions about why she has to lie to her parents about it, because
Nope. That's at the very least, that's a tomorrow question.
that's a tomorrow question, and also, like, she's an artist. That's not necessarily doing what her parents are expecting her to do, so.
The weird part is, as you sort of go, okay, and say, I have this thing to do, and they agree to come back tomorrow, and you turn and walk away, they go back to hiding in the bush and staring in your window.
Everything okay?
Yeah, I'm just trying to learn stuff.
Okay. Well, have a good rest of your day then.
Uh-huh.
And she will head towards the scrap.
Okay. Now-
Confused by this person, but
Yes.
also like, you're weird like me, I can teach you.
Now, being a technosopher, and having been to the scrap on multiple occasions, as we have already said, you know several ways in. Several sort of ground floor level ways in. You
Yes,
also
less
know
dangerous, slippy
yeah.
ways.
You also know that even though he is a member of the militia, some stuff is more or less technosopher secrets. So he will have gone in over the spur, as everybody else wants to. So you know roughly where they're going to be on the map. Nope, I got the wrong page here. Hang on. There. Yeah. So you know that they're going to be there, right off the end of
Okay.
that little spur. You also know that the most convenient one for you is going to be right along where the railway tracks were.
Mm-hmm.
Karis is joining.
Apparently. Hello?
Yeah, she said in chat she's gonna join muted.
Oh,
Hold a
just to
spot
hold
for
the
her.
spot.
Oh, to
I
help
see.
the-
I
Ah,
gotcha.
thank you.
All right, good plan. That just means I need to fix the. You were there. I was
Artemis
there. Hang
Oh,
on,
no,
we're
I
fixing.
need-
We're fixing. I think that's it. Thank you. And we will just have a name floating in space. In fact, I can turn that one off for the moment. Thank you.
And-
Good idea. Which one are you?
Kara says Sid Brimlock.
He-
Oh, there he
There he
is.
is. He's back.
Oh,
All right.
there.
Frost, stupid bird.
Thank you for the
Okay.
space filling, and now I gotta do this again. Whee! There we go. That should be everybody. All right, we're back. All
Honorary
right.
member right there.
And now you know it's Dirty 20 Gaming. Thank you. That was a brilliant
so-
idea. I just wasn't
What did I
expecting
miss?
it.
Just Artemis doing shit.
Artemis
Okay.
and Artemis, a young teenager, and then Artemis and a post-teenager who is stalking them and wants them to teach them how to be a technosopher. They also know a secret way in multiple secret ways into the scrap. One of which Artemis goes back with basically where the railway tracks used to go through the wall. There's a little remains of a cabin is what it looks like, but you know that inside that it used to be a storage place, but if you crawl under the wooden desk there's a little
Fucking
door that you
tunnel.
can push open and and get out.
Yeah, I think she'll kind of go around and like walk past like the spur just to see if like
Yeah.
she can catch them before
Mm-hmm.
they get like
Mm-hmm.
try and go down the spur.
Yep.
But then like kind of go her back way if they've already gone down because she doesn't know how far.
Because
They've
you
gotten.
thought of that, at least, when you look over where the spur is, you can see on the crest there's a couple of scrappers, people, the technosophers that live out there. You can tell from the way they stand. It's like Mad Max out there, right? There's just a couple of them hunching on the horizon. But that means somebody's just gone in. And they're being watched. Like you can see them on a couple of the hilltops around just before you go over to your gate.
Shit. And she'll kind of walk over kind of behind the scrappers because like I'm imagining technosophers know how to at least talk or deal with them.
Yep.
Uh,
So you're gonna go. Just to be clear, you're gonna go under the wall and out into the scrap. I gave you
No,
that
no.
from inside. Yeah. And they're.
Mm.
So are you on the? Because everybody can be on their own map. Are you on the city map right now?
I'm on the city map.
Okay. They are here.
Mm-hmm.
And you were, when you saw that, I figured you were about here and you were heading to the door there that you knew.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was heading there.
Yep.
She didn't see like Coas or anyone
Yep.
at the top.
Right.
But she did see the scrappers, so she
Yep.
might try and go behind the scrappers.
Okay. That would
Not going
involve
down the spur. Would it be going down the spur?
That would have to, yeah, you'd have to either go down the spur to get, that's where they are, is up, they're up on that ridge.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could go through this and sort of come up, hopefully, towards your friends before the scrappers see what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Then, yeah, she'll go through the railway,
Okay.
the rail yard entrance, and try to move around.
So as you push your way through and stand up, you can see a couple more of them moving in that direction. There's obviously, it's like piranha. It's not quite this vicious, but visually it's like the piranhas after somebody's just thrown a piece of meat in the pool. They're all just sort of but they do see you coming out of a technosopher's only door, and they stop and turn to look at you, and they're like, come on, noobs, free stuff.
I know they're probably noobs, but I believe my brother might be a part of that group.
So you want his stuff? I don't understand.
No, they're with me.
Oh, and they kind of.
He's
Oh.
also militia, and one of them, I think, is an architect.
And fuck. And he pulls out a whistle and across the waist, and everybody, they'd stop like they've been electrocuted, and it's just itch. And they all just turn around and go back to whatever the hell it is they were doing. From there, we're going to cut back to these guys. Because just before that, a little ways before that, hurtling through the air towards you is a conglomeration of plastic and solder and a few circuit boards mixed in just for fun. Two people on a nearby hilltop are using a mangonel to fling heavy objects at you. And they are incoming. We're going to go back to this map. Bam, that one. So, on this map, the first, this adversary 2 and adversary 3 are the actual two people that are pulling the ropes to launch this mangonel. It's the one where you put the heavy thing at the end of the string and boom and fling. That's why I turned the magician or musicians thing on, because otherwise Zoom goes, he's not speaking, and they don't need to hear that. But yeah. So two of them firing that. The third one there is the actual machine itself. With the cards you have remaining in your hand after you slithered and banged yourselves down the hill, what would you like to do?
Okay, so something's hurtling right at us.
It's
right?
So mechanically speaking, that's why you don't know what consequences you're facing. That's why it doesn't say underneath them.
Right, you were surprised. Yeah.
You were surprised, so you don't know. And if you say to me, I choose to eliminate one consequence, you roll to see which one disappears.
Okay. I would like to, right off the bat, is what's around me? Is there anything around me that I can use quickly for a bit of cover?
Think of it as being, we talked about like the scree slopes, so not much. I mean, it's just valleys of circuit board bits and pieces. There's some bigger stuff, like maybe an old computer case or an old desk chair or something, but not much bigger than that.
I'd like to try, and because I'm trying to diversify here and get some XP out here.
Yeah.
I would like to look around and try to create something to lessen the blow, and by doing that, I'm gonna try it and use one of my cards to do a success.
Absolutely. So what skill would you think you were using there?
That skill to kind of just look around to see if there's anything out there that I can quickly use to take the blow. I would argue perception.
I think that makes perfect sense. Yep. See if you can perceive the bits and pieces you need to basically build yourself a, probably not portable, but at least a shield. At least a little pile of stuff to hide behind. So yeah.
I'm going to do
clubs, correct?
Yes, an 8 of clubs.
Oh, 2 successes and 1 card. Look at that. The only way that works is from when you get to 8s and ups. And what are you doing with those 2 successes?
I am going to take out, obviously, I have to take out 1 from, I'll take it as like, oh, that guy's so resourceful. Oh, I take a hit. I'm going to take out 1 injury from one of the guys.
Yep.
So I guess adversary 2 to make it easy.
Okay, from one of the people. Okay, so you're going to take one of these. We'll roll to see which one it is after. Yeah. And then your second success. You have to now use one of them to succeed against the top row somewhere. Because you always have to use technically your first one for that.
Actually, I think it would make more sense if I took it out from the Mangala.
Yeah.
Mangala.
Yep.
So both from the Mangala. 1 from the top row, 1 from the bottom row.
Okay. All right. And those are, now because we do this in order, those are gone. So you only face 1 consequence. Roll me any die and tell me evens or odds before you roll it. And then tell me what you rolled.
All right.
We don't roll die.
Sorry. Actually, take your deck, the part that you haven't used yet, and cut it. If it's a red, then tell me red or black. Let's do that.
All right.
There you go.
The part that I haven't used, or should I just use so that way I don't know what's in the middle? Should I just use my other deck I'm never gonna use?
Yeah, use even better. Use that. Although technically neither of those decks is 50-50 red or black, but never mind. Don't do the math, Phil. Don't do the math.
I'm not doing any math.
I am. It's not that difficult. It's bad. So I'm keeping you talking. Okay. It's black. So that is so you don't. Yeah, so that's you pick the second one. Okay. So in that process, that makes perfect sense to me. You yeah. You make it less effective by basically creating a space big enough for everybody to hide behind. That's the only way it makes sense to take one away from the damage of this thing, right? And then in that process, though, while you're jamming stuff together, one of the pieces of metal runs up it's the inside of one arm you've already got cut open, right? And this is another one that goes up the inside of the other arm because it is another injury. You had injury or fatigue left, so you were probably taking a trauma either way. So yes, 1 more point of trauma to your diamonds, your physical stat.
Steel, okay.
Yeah.
I'm now -1.
Okay, so now every play you make, subtract 1 from the total of the cards.
Okay.
So that 8 would have been a 7, and yeah. Ta-da.
Well, is it every play that I make in steel?
Yes, in steel, yes. Yeah. So yeah, good. Yes, very good point. Yes. Okay, so that's you. The 2 of them are up there. Oh. But they've kind of actually stopped shooting almost. They're still getting ready. They're still loading one up. So the other 2 now of you get to act.
And sorry,
Yeah.
one last
Oh,
thing.
cool.
Would
Yeah.
would you classify that as a create?
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, you created.
Then
the thing,
I
yeah.
have 1 full gear.
You have 1 full gear. Okay, so as we talked about after the show last week, it actually takes 2 to get anything done. Because your first one gets rid of, you throw away an ace, and the second one you buy a card up to a 7, right?
Yes.
So, with that, but yes, our first experience point. The other 2, what are you doing? There is now like a barrier of garbage, and I keep calling him a cop, a militia officer, kind of crouched down behind it, bleeding from both arms.
Does Sid have his apron on?
Today, it was, I think you're muted, Sid, but I think you had it on, didn't you? And then just the traditional covered? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he just had
The way he's supposed to not wear
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like, he doesn't. Does he have a jacket on over it, like he's trying to not be official, or?
I think I see where you're going.
He
here.
just came back from shift, so he doesn't care about officiality or not. Is he warm? He's warm, so yeah, he wouldn't be wearing.
Okay.
Like
So
so he'd be in full.
Yeah.
Okay.
It-
So
the regalia is exposed.
Yes.
Yes.
in that case, I am going to. Delilah is going to take off her jacket, her lab coat,
Yeah.
and fully display her apron.
Mm-hmm.
And she is going to say, "You are about to attack 2 employees of the Citadel of Science. I highly recommend you stop your actions at once." And I am going to play 2 of my clubs for societal esteem, or not clubs, spades.
Spades for society. Yes. 2 successes. Okay. Your choice. But you wanted you have to spend one of them on that top row. If you spend both of them on the top row, you eliminate one of these foes, right? I'm going to suggest you can't use your social status against a machine.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm going to.
Sid, maybe. I'll make a boiler out of you. I'll self-destruct. I'm sorry. But no. Yeah.
I'm gonna knock out 2 of the consequences on the second guy here.
You have to use one for the top row, though, right?
Oh, that's right.
First success has to come from the top row.
Uh,
Because this game isn't complicated enough. I love
can
this
I
game.
take one from each of the 2?
You certainly could. Or if you took 2 from one of them, they would disappear. And the consequences, you would only have to deal with what's left.
Yeah,
Which
I'll
at the
just
moment
do
is
that.
only the mangonel. So
I'll do that with number 2.
So take
here.
both of those, and that makes these go away. And yeah, you still have to face. We have now confirmed that this is injury. Oh, yeah.
Not that I want us to be hurt anymore, but I thought the whole point was like taking out the thing doesn't take out the consequences.
Is that how we played it? I was trying to remember. There's one more, the consequences last till after
Because
the
or
end of
else
the
it'd
play,
be
right?
too easy to just
Yeah.
get rid of the thing before any consequences go through.
Okay.
Or else I would have chosen that.
Yeah.
as well.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. So let's put them back. And my bad. So, yeah. So given that, yeah, if you did that, you would have to face 3 consequences.
Okay.
If you take out one of them and 1 consequence, then you'd only have to face 2 consequences.
Okay.
Thank you, Phil. I wasn't sure, and I just kind of went with what felt really nice, and I should have known better. This game's not, the mechanics
Yeah,
of this game are not about really nice.
That was when I was looking at the rules, I was like, wow, that's gonna be tough.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Okay. Then 1 from top, 1 from bottom.
Okay. That makes sense. So, bam, bam. So we know. Actually, we don't know. You didn't know what these are. So 3. Let me do it.
You can just roll it in roll 20.
There you go. 3. It is. You are. As you make your speech and you see that affect one of them, he turns to the other guy and his hand comes off just as they pull the rope and it's hurling towards you. And you see the hand company starts talking to him like they're not yelling like you were, but they're having a conversation. But as you stand there to make your point, the round comes down, hits below you. Like you don't have to dodge to get away from it, but it causes a small sort of tech launch underneath, and you just fall on your ass. And we're gonna go with stunned. You're not actually knocked unconscious, but it's gonna take your round to sort of get yourself back, your feet back under yourself.
Okay.
And we'll just go with that one. So that was stun, and then the second one was an injury, but your robe absorbs, or your thing absorbs it. Your apron absorbs it. So yes, there you go. Sid.
Sid is going to.
Encounters may not be speedy, but they are interesting.
He's going to use his athletics.
Yep.
To charge his way up the hill.
Okay.
Towards, I'm going to say adversary 2.
Okay. I just pull the nose over there because they're talking now. Hey, what are you?
Yeah.
Do we really want to support the power of the state?
I guess his what is his real aim? I guess his aim's kind of like get the. Actually, no. He would be
two
heading.
people and a less than functional machine, because the one guy's not holding the rope, and they're kind of losing the focus here. But that's what you're running up the hill against. And mechanically speaking,
Running up that hill.
That's what I was thinking.
Actually, he's going to use.
It's going to be like that gym stair climb thing, though, running up a hill made out of this shit.
He's actually going to go for the mangonel, and he's going to use. I'm not sure what would really count, other than maybe engineering design or mechanical and chemical construction, to basically just pull the pin out of the mangonel.
Okay.
To dismantle it.
That bit when you get we need you to get there first, though, because you are climbing a hill. You just you guys just fell down one.
The hill that y'all just fell
and actually
down.
took damage. So now you're going up another one of those. So he asked leadingly, "Don't you have any ranged weapons?"
Ranged weapons don't, like, all we get is the stuff we start with.
That's
I
right.
could create a weapon, but
as
that's
I
already my turn.
Yeah, as I said, Coas, I think, is the only one that's got ranged weapons. So yeah,
I also do.
So,
you do too. Yeah, you're getting here in a second. Well, your effect is getting here in a second. Yeah.
So I guess it would be the athletics to get up the hill.
To get up the hill, absolutely.
Okay.
So give me an athletics play. Once you're up there, yeah. Well, okay, here we go. We can still use the cards as they sit. The one success that now sits in adversary 4 is you getting up the hill.
Yeah,
you can't get there. You can't do it.
I'd be using different cards.
Yeah,
it's 2 successes this way.
Yep. Yes, it is. Yeah, yeah, absolutely perfect. So you can get rid of both of these, both the damage and you literally take it apart. So yeah, you climb up the hill, get up there, and I mean it's as easy as you got a knife.
He's got the forge hammer.
Right.
I was just thinking he'd take the pin that
just knock out the pin.
Connects the arm of the mangonel to the actual machine.
Yeah.
Just yoink.
Yeah. Oh, just knock out the pivot. Yeah, that's the easy part. You just because it's automatic, right?
Yeah.
You shake weight the thing out of there. Yeah. So as you do so, the two of them they're backing away now. It's like they see you've also got the apron on. It's like, we didn't mean any shit. And then just at that moment, you hear "Beep," this whistle blows across the land, and they go, gotta go. And they like skid surf down the backside of this mountain, like they've been doing this for months, right? They're like a kid in the winter on a hillside standing up, almost like a snowboard without the snowboard. Just
it's a bootski.
A bootski, yeah. Down the
going
hill.
down a sand dune.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's always crunchy. I have the higher ground. And you guys hear around you as this happens, other like little tech launches and noises to let you know you had actually been quite surrounded. and then Artemis.
Great.
But then you see where everybody's leaving from, so you know where they must be. You follow a couple of alleys and come around a corner, and you can see them in the near distance.
And she'll walk up. Wow, you really are an idiot.
Yeah, I know. A big one. Ah, damn.
Those
Thanks for-
scrappers would have eaten you alive. You know that, right?
Well, I do now. I mean, we don't normally go to the scrap at all.
Yeah.
The militia is told to stay clear. I guess for good reason.
Yep. Your job ends at the walls. Out here, you are not a cop.
You're just a snoop with a badge.
Well, you don't need a uniform, actually, I think, technically, but
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
uniform. There's no badge.
But yeah.
Yeah.
What
You
it does
really
give you,
thought-
though, is a weapon. You know, there's very few people that can shoot stuff.
You really thought that coming to the scrap without someone who's been here before was a smart idea.
Well,
You didn't really have a choice.
You
You
seemed
ran off
busy.
to God knows where.
yeah, yeah. I told them that you weren't able to make it. But
Sid's
they
like,
still wanted to go anyways.
wait a tick, there's two of you.
Yeah. we're-
Click.
Did you not notice the resemblance?
Well, I noticed the resemblance. That's a problem, really. I noticed a little bit too well.
Okay.
I don't know which one of us should be insulted by that.
yeah.
Probably both.
Well,
Taken
you
from
didn't-
either perspective, right?
From what I understood, there was no timeline on this trip. And you all have jobs. I have a job. Mine just has less of a schedule, one where I don't sleep. But
Sid's just sitting on top of the mangonel listening to her lecture them.
she's including you in that.
Oh
of
yeah,
course.
totally. But he's far enough away that it doesn't bother
Okay,
him as
so
much.
how was it the scrappers, the spur, or both that hurt you, Koas?
It was both. It was both.
He's a
Yeah,
bit clumsy.
Took a nasty fall down there. Yeah.
Well, that's because you chose to go down the spur.
I tried looking for the other entrance.
Yeah,
I
they're
tried.
hidden.
Yeah, I know they're hidden, but I'm normally good at finding those hidden stuff. So
There's a reason technosophers hide it.
I listen. You're right. I'm sorry.
This is why you have your characters play as people that knew each other before the game started. At this moment, they're having the conversation. Sid, you're watching, so you're enjoying this too much to pay attention.
Popcorn.
Yeah, he's popcorn
much.
moment up on the mangonel, which leaves Delilah. You realize no one, in spite of Artemis's speech, no one is looking around. No one is paying attention right now. And you I presume, immediately start doing so, if for self-preservation, if for nothing else. And you see that it's just endless hills. It's like a Lego mountain range. You know, stuff. It's like mountains, but they're all 5, 6, 7 stories tall, and they're varying heights, and they fade off into the distance and do the whole perspective thing in the haze and everything else. But about 2 little valleys away, you can see there's an actual pool of steam in one area. Like when you're standing on top of a mountain looking down into a valley, and you can see the clouds down in the valley. It's like that. There's this little sort of area, this low area, that's steamier and stiller than the rest of the area around here. As you look over there, you see and a little cloud of steam rises up.
I recognize the steam from the little automaton.
Mm-hmm.
and I wonder if there's some sort of like something on a grander scale happening here. So I pull out my trusty scalpel
Yeah.
and I
Got a knife.
That's not a knife. That's a scalpel.
and I just kind of carefully make my way over there.
Listen, remember that one time that you fell because you were too hasty? I mean, it's like one of the, it's like that, except now we're older, you know. So like, you got a nasty cut on that toy car, you know.
This is different.
I'm not. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
This is
I'm
different.
not bringing that
Where's your
up,
friend
so.
going?
Uh-huh. She's your friend too.
Does Artemis know what this is?
What is it you're referring to?
Well, she's gonna be looking where now because she'll see Delilah.
Oh,
with us.
the whole area. Yeah. No. It's not. What I will give you because of your background is, it's not machinery. Like, it's not a steam engine making this.
Mhm.
Sid, that was going to be Sid's question because he's sitting up. He's got a bit more vantage
Plus,
point that
plus
he
you
can
work
see where-
with steam for a living.
Yeah, Sid
the-
knows steam.
When you see the
So-
poops that come out eventually, every once in a while, that's low pressure. It's more like it's booming out from something. It's not like high pressure compressed steam.
My other question is:
You also
does it look like
occasionally
water
are-
steam.
Yes, but
Okay,
every
so
once
it's
in a
not
while.
like we're gonna, walk into a cloud of sulfuric acid or something.
Not that you can tell from here. Although once in a while you hear a whoomp. Like most of the steam pumps don't have that. These whoops don't seem to be connected to the steam puffs. But when there's a whoomp, the whole thing sort of glows briefly blue for a second, and then stops. You're gonna have to get closer. Is the short answer.
Yeah.
Architect, because she didn't exchange her name with everybody.
Yeah.
Architect, where do you think you're going?
To do what that creepy guy said we should do.
He said to look for unexplored places. This is the entrance to the scrap.
Which is why we're going deeper.
What he said.
And yeah, this is further out. This valley, this area, of steam.
Because he can now see it. He's sort of like,
Yeah, you can all see it now. Now that it's you have your attention drawn to it. Yeah.
Right, right.
Do you still have that med kit on you?
I thought you said you didn't want it.
Well, because I wanted you to save your resources, but I wasn't expecting to be attacked by
I
a
know.
big trebuchet.
You have had 5 minutes, so any of you that want can throw away one card from your hand and draw back up to 6.
Let me evaluate.
Because I say this, because yes, we did wait, and that now means that you have to generate 2 successes to get rid of his first trauma, because they're both in the same field, right?
Yeah.
They're both physical. So.
I'm gonna...
But yeah, go ahead. Throw away any single card and draw up to your full hand.
Okay.
Oh,
this is rude.
got an ace. You.
It's
Oh,
still a
just
success
one?
in the right suit. Yeah.
Just one.
No,
This is-
actually, it's my first ace. That means the rest of them are in there still.
You have 3 in your hand at the moment. That's 3. That's a success in 3 different skills.
I know it's more. Really, bud.
I
Hey,
kind of like
just
it. 'Cause,
wait.
Yeah,
The
'cause one-
Demasi siblings have kings.
I know.
And there
Well,
comes
Actually,
already shown
I've
up.
already pulled my king.
Every-
so
every
it's,
Oh,
Everything
that's
twice.
right, you
good.
did.
Yours won't be back for 24 cards. Roughly,
That's
because
not-
you'll have to you have to shuffle when you get to the end of your deck. But
Okay.
anyway,
So,
so yeah, tell me, let me know when you're all done.
one extra success in all places are given for advancement. Let me
Yeah.
double check what advanced medicine does. If I can find the right tab.
Advanced medicine, you make
got
a
it, I
play
got it.
in thing, and then yeah, you have to do 2 to get rid of his first one, and then 1 to get rid of his second one.
Practicing first aid. Okay.
And you could technically take a 5-minute break in between, and throw away that card and get more.
Okay.
However, that means you're going through your deck faster.
clubs. Okay, I can do. Okay, so Delilah is going to look at him and say, "Okay, I don't have my full kit with me. A lot of it got lost when it fell, but I can do this for you." And she's going to do her advanced medicine and 2 successes.
Okay, so that gets rid of the first trauma. So you're back to only having 1, which has no effect on your rolls. Yeah. So you patch up one of his arms, and then you're out of bandages. So yeah, I love that. Thank you for working the loss of last week that I got all soft and gave you back. Thank you for giving part of that back this week and saying I didn't have enough to do this. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, thank you. That's also my dominant hand, so that'll really be
While she
helpful.
was doing that, could Artemis have...
Woohoo, his
she
weekend
was-
plans are back on. Sorry.
Artemis would pull up while Delilah
It's
was
kinda
doing that.
accurate.
Would pull up her mask and down her goggles.
Yep.
Because she does this for a living.
Yes.
And kind of move towards what's happening, but being careful of where she steps, because if there's steam coming up, especially closer, there could be
Oh, wait, hold on. The whole
uneven
reason
places.
I'm so sorry, Robin. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
The whole reason I used advanced medicine is because it gives me an extra success. My med bag gives me an extra success with that skill.
Right.
So I had 3 successes.
So that's your fix. You had enough. I know exactly what happened. You opened it up and went, oh, I only got this much, and you used the stuff, and you went, oh, it's got another side, and you turned it around and opened it up. It's like a fishing, fishing lures. There's always another friggin' tray.
They recently redesigned the,
Yes, yeah.
the med.
This is the med bag
layout.
2.0.
Yes.
It's newly implemented.
Yes. Yeah. Turned out you used the
She
overflow.
hasn't had to use it on the
Yeah.
away from the job.
You used the
Yeah.
overflow first instead of using the regulars. But anyway, either way, you're good. So you're fixed. Well, you now, from there down, basically look like a zombie in a D&D game. I don't think that's covered by 1.0.
Hey now.
Zombie pre-existed. Anyway, yes. So you're healed up. Your trauma is dealt with. As you approach this steamy area, because you are the technosopher Artemis, you notice they're not coming around here. So this is exactly what you've been sent for. This is a place, an unexplored place, and very soon all 4 of you can see why. You come over a low ridge of the garbage, and you look down into this valley, and through the smoke, because you're close now, you can see through it, or through the steam.
Mm-hmm.
There's this low area, the air in the ground, it's warmer here. You can feel it coming up from here. It's almost like a volcanic crater. Not that hot, but you can feel that level of steam.
Yeah, we
and
were in
heat coming
Italy,
up.
so I was like, is this a volcano?
not right here. But steam wisps rise from the ground here and there, and every once in a while you see little, almost like a geyser, except it's just puffing steam. And every once in a while you have to stand there for a couple minutes before you hear one of these whoomps. And it's a small blue flame, a methane vent that's lit up on fire, and poof, and then poof over here, and then poof over there, and then it stops. But you realize the only reason it's not lighting fires is because of all this steam in here. But most of the hillside ahead of you and the valley below it all flickers with these little blue flames, little blue jets here and there, pools of flames even that you can see now starting to form. And rivers of flame pouring, lighting and then pouring down into the valley. Methane or some other gas is burning, and slowly, ever so slowly, it's melting away the terrain as it does so. So it's making like a caldera of a volcano of melted plastic as it slowly melts and sinks.
Probably smells awful.
Oh yeah, just
Oh, it smells like farts.
Hence the
that
the
and
mask.
yes, so the methane,
Yeah.
so yes, smells like ass, but also smells like really warm but not quite melting plastic. That sort of
Where you look
yeah.
at it and are like,
Start
"That's
unplugging stuff, sort of level of smell. Yeah,
Yeah,
something's
Sid
about
pulls
to
down
light up.
his,
Yeah,
Sid pulls
Oh.
down his own
Yep.
It's more of a welding mask, but it's got some rudimentary air
Yeah,
filtration.
I'll put up my cloth mask. You know?
overall.
So just on this little ridge that you just came over, this is like the coming to the Caldera edge at Mauna Loa, right? There might as well be a wall. This is as far as you're going in this direction.
What do we
Has
see
anyone
down
seen this before? I would consider this.
there? He's like, most of it I work with copper and brass, so I can't say so.
And this out here smells like plastic and ass. Boom.
Does
I
this
used to come.
does this look familiar to you?
I mean, it looks like something we stay the fuck away from, but might just be what Verite wants. Does someone have one of those box
I
things?
was waiting to see if anybody remembered what you were supposed to do when you found these places.
Yeah.
Each of
Artemis
you had
didn't
one,
have
right?
one of them. No,
Oh, no,
because
there was
Artemis
three.
gave one of hers
Right.
to Sid.
Right.
Yeah.
Sid pulls his out
Yeah. So
and kind of looks at it.
Okay.
What's I
And he
supposed to do
said,
with this thing again?
it's just a little
he said,
cube.
open it
Mhm.
and count 100 heartbeats,
Yes.
and then
Whose
close it.
heartbeats?
He
We
did
never
say, like,
specified.
he did say, don't use somebody that's panicking. So
Okay.
basically, it's like your regular. So, yeah.
Here. Because
The only clocks would be
Mm.
steam clocks, right? So,
So does Cois get his box?
Yeah, I'll
all
take
three.
out mine.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we've all got our boxes
Yeah.
out, so,
So-
we only need to open one of them.
Yeah.
yeah, only
per
one
set.
of them. Because we need to find 3 different places.
Well, you've got 3 boxes, so you
We've
don't
got 3
have
boxes.
To, but
To,
yeah.
yeah.
You can't find any more than 3 because you won't be able to test any more than that.
Yeah.
Oh, there's
Yes.
only 3 boxes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
One
So-
for each of the 3 of you. Yeah.
I guess I'll use mine first. I've got a pretty steady heartbeat.
Yeah. So it's a little cube, about 8 centimeters on the side, and there's it's got 2 halves and it's held together with wax. So you just kind of pop, and none of you have opened one. So yeah, you pop it open and look in. There's 3 little strips of paper that are arced between these 2 little wooden frames, like 2 almost like miniature bases. You know, the ones that have the slots for standees. It's like 6 of those and 3 little arcs of paper between sets of 2, right? And as you look down and start counting, the first strip there's 3 strips of white paper. The first one on the far left turns brown just in an instant. Just bang! It's brown. It almost looks like it burned. It looks like the photo paper from the old printers. If you exposed it to heat, right? It's instantly brown. Next to it, the middle strip goes pale yellow. And the rightmost strip is the last one to react, and it takes on a pale green tinge. Technosopher and engineer, I think, would be the
Yes.
only people that would have a chance.
I was going to have Artemis kind of watching it to see if
Yeah.
she can figure out.
Yeah, Sid's like 100% trying to figure out what the fuck this thing is.
But the only reason I didn't include Sid in this is because this is chemicals.
We did say engineer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said
And Sid is the
technophile.
engineer.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I meant Technosopher and the
Architect?
the engineer. Yeah, engineer. No, architect. Yeah, that's it.
Architect.
Fuck me. Architect. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one.
You still
Yeah.
can't tell us apart.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, those 2. That's who I meant. Because you work with the bodies, so you would have a better idea about chemicals, and you're a technosopher, so you would have an idea about this as well. So those 2, if you could make a play, if you can tell me what gear skill you're going to use to make that play, or what skill you're going to use to make that play. Doesn't have to be gear.
Sid
be
would
creative.
just be watching intently anyways.
See, this is another part of this game, right? You're looking down at your hand and going, I've only got this. So then you have to be creative. How can I use this skill to be creative, right? If you've only got diamonds, well, how can I use, whatever it is, whatever's associated with diamonds, physical, yeah. How can I solve this problem physically, even though that's not normally how I do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's a great way to
Could
get you to
I
be creative.
argue perception?
Yes, Yeah, sure.
Coolio.
And Delilah?
I'm going to again use my advanced medicinal knowledge to call on my chemistry training.
You bet. Absolutely. So, yeah, both of you can make a 2-card play.
So I have 2 successes, 2
Ooh,
4s, and
bam.
then
Yep.
a
Yep.
club.
Okay.
Maybe I should save that. Nope, nothing's gonna. Okay. Yeah, 2 successes because I have a 3 and a 5, and one of them is
One of them
a
is suited.
spade.
So perfect. So, between the two of you, you're actually very lucky because you realize as you start figuring out what's going on here that you should probably take a couple steps back. And so I'm not going to make you face the consequences because you guys had so many successes between you. What was there? 3 was 2
2
and
and
4, so 4
2 and
altogether.
2.
Yeah, you took care of all the consequences that you didn't even know were there. Plus, you succeeded. The success is the 2 of you both figure this out more or less. From the first to the last, that first strip showed that there were hydrocarbons present in the atmosphere. Which, no surprise, there's methane burning right there. The second one is a little odd, and I'm going to suggest that this, because it's a metal, would have been what Artemis figured out. There's lithium present in the air. Why he wants to test for lithium is anybody's question. You can't think of it as anything. You can't think of anything important with it. It's a very weak, soft metal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Delilah, this is also a metal. I should have looked. But you figure out the third one, the one that goes pale green, is actually testing for copper, and there's copper in the air here as well. For those to all be present in gaseous form, there is significant heat in that crater. And you realize that you avoided, you only needed 1 success. So you, with your other 3, you avoided fatigue, isolation, which would have meant you got lost, and stun as the 3 consequences you didn't even know were there.
We should move back.
Yes, that's the feeling you get. It's like standing on top of a
Like
volcano going,
now.
I'm dizzy. Yeah, it's not from the
Enough.
excitement. It's from the
Yeah.
fumes. Yeah.
I sit down and step back.
Yep.
Step
So
back,
you
step back.
click, close the cube, and you can use your thumbs to mold the wax back around it. He didn't say you had to, but it seemed to me like that would be the easiest way to carry it, at least.
Yeah, to make
Once
sure
it
it
was
didn't
done.
rattle around.
Yeah, you can't be. It's just little strips of paper in there, right? So, with that information, it is now late-ish afternoon. So sort of, it's winter, so it's sort of 3 p.m. We got maybe a couple hours of light left. I mean, we're closer to the equator than most of us live, but still, we've probably only got 2 or 3 hours of light left today. Artemis, you would know. I mean, it's not safe out here during the day.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely less safe out here at night.
Yeah.
So,
Since you can't see.
do you? Yeah, I'll leave you with that information and what you have to decide as a group, assuming you share that with them. Like,
She
yeah,
will.
you
Yeah,
guys-
she's gonna say.
The only reason I'm not
well, if we're
kicking
all
your
feeling-
ass is because you're here,
Mhm.
right? Yeah.
Well, if we're all feeling very randy, we can take a stab at finding another location, or I would suggest we wait till there's another full day. This place is worse at night.
Well, we've got one thing that he wants. Why don't we just take it to him and see what he actually wants?
Give him something to work with while we figure out the other 2.
See what our reward actually is.
Well,
Well, he
because
told
he
us
said
the
we'd have to go
Oh,
twice.
yeah, right. Yeah.
We're gonna have to
Yeah,
come
he's
back
just
to
like-
this location to get something for him.
That's true.
Well, then we'll know that he wants that, and we'll be able to prepare before we come back.
That's
Right.
yeah, that's exactly what he said. He had gear that would get you anywhere you needed to through anything that you found here. So
So let me show you an easier way in and out of the scrap.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And advice, make sure your aprons, uniform are on actual display, because that'll most likely keep the scrappers at bay if I'm not here. Otherwise, they'll think you're newbies and eat you alive.
Well, if they put on their aprons, then they know they're not technosophers, so then they know they're not newbies. Then they are newbies, right?
Yes, but they at least know that they are an engineer and an architect, and that they maybe shouldn't be messing with them.
Yeah, fair.
From as a militia, you would know that what it means from your point of view is, if they die in the scrap, there's going to be a massive investigation out here, and nobody out here wants that.
One that involves technofans.
Yes,
And nobody
yeah,
wants the army running
yeah,
through.
and shoveling the whole of the scrap into the river to find the miscreants, because death is that important here, right? So yeah. So there is that to think of. You guys would know that.
I'm Artemis, by the way.
Sid,
Delilah.
Nice to meet you, officially.
Sidalila, that's all I heard. Yeah. They just shipped themselves by speaking at the same time. They're now Sidalila.
Sid Delilah.
That sounds like a Phil Collins song. Sidalila. Sis equal to Susu Studio. Yeah. What does it mean? Same shit as the last one. Absolutely fucking nothing. Fun noise to make. That's all. So, Artemis, you're going to lead them back?
Yeah, she'll lead them through the rail yard entrance, which seems
What's
to be
the marching order?
I'm gonna be right
Ominously.
behind Artemis, just because I want to have a little bit of conversation on the way back.
Okay, and we'll let you do that.
Delilah is solidly in the middle.
Artemis,
Yeah, so Sid would be bringing up the rear.
then Coas, and then Delilah, and then the Sid. I keep spelling it CYD.
And Artemis will be trying to keep an eye out for as probably is typical fashion, for any kind of softer, more slidey parts of
Yep.
the.
And you're
area.
you're leading them back sort of the way you came. So yeah, it's not gonna be you're not gonna get lost. That is not an issue for sure.
There's an ad.
Is there? I haven't seen it come up yet.
There's 2 ads. I'm watching them right now.
I
subbed.
see.
I'm subbed.
Oh, okay. Damn it.
Okay, it's done.
All right, so we're back. Hey, the ad's over for those that had to watch it. Sorry, I didn't even know. So in order, we've got Artemis, Coas, Delilah, and Sid. So Sid, you're at the back, sort of following along. What's your you're the last one out of here. It's getting. I mean, you're down in the valleys, right? There's still an hour or so of daylight left, but it's getting shady down here. So, as you sort of, I'm assuming that, don't assume anything. Does that cause you to pay more attention or hurry up, or what does it cause you to do?
In the back of his head, now that he's thinking about it, his brain is doing the mental math to how long is it until his next shift.
Right. Yep.
So I wouldn't say he's really impatient, because he knows he's got some time. He'll have some time to crash and
Yeah.
do his usual rituals. But yeah, he is looking out for things that might delay them at all.
Okay. So, looking forward. Perfect. From behind you, Sid, you hear ding, 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 ding.
Oh god.
Boing.
Whirls around. What in
And-
the fuck?
On top of a nearby hill, there's a big spring, used to be from the back of a truck, right? And on top of it, there's a metal cutout of a clown human jack-in-the-box going to and just kind of winding down from having popped up.
Keep an eye out, everybody. I don't think we're alone.
Never thought we were.
Because Artemis knows they're probably not ever not being watched.
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. You all hear it this time. It's like the, those little tiny music boxes that had the disc and just a little finger, the little metal fingers. It sounds like that, but bigger. It's like ding, 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 because the sound carries, and then another one comes up to the side.
Does Artemis know what this is?
This is new. It's clearly technosophers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's machinery and yeah, but you don't. This isn't sort of. This isn't anybody that you know's standard operating procedure.
It's a new group or
Yeah.
a new tactic.
Which doesn't surprise you at all. This place is constantly changing, and everybody out here is an anarchist.
Yeah.
So, ding,
Did it
ding,
really
ding,
have to be clowns?
ding, ding. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that an out of character cry for help as
No,
well?
that's
Okay,
Delilah.
just making sure. I
Snakes, why
should
it have
have
to be snakes?
CW actually CW mention of because they aren't clowns, but there was a mention of them. So there you go. The third time it happens, it only goes halfway. So it's dun 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 dun.
I'll instinctively stop.
Dun,
No, we
dun,
need to keep going.
dun,
No, Sid's like,
dun, 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 dun. Another one pops up to the other side now.
How
So the-
close is it? Like, is it happening like right above us?
They are just past the ridge lines, so you can't see the bases that they're launching out of.
Mm-hmm.
I will give Artemis this. This isn't mobile. Like, these are positions that are built somewhere and they're triggered from somewhere. So yeah,
Okay,
Just
come on.
yeah.
Just to show off, not show off, but just to like be like, hey, don't
Yeah.
fuck with us.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take out a repeating hand crossbow and just
Yeah.
shoot one of them.
Give me a shot. How many successes can you generate? That
Oh,
is,
well,
you're
let's see.
using clubs.
Clubs. Yes.
Yeah. And
So-
you've had 5 minutes, so if you hadn't already,
Yes.
you could do the drop and re anytime. For those of you with kings in your hands, that becomes a double-sided sword too. It's like, oh, I can have a whole bunch of cards, but that's one step closer to getting around the deck to that king again.
Do I? I was gonna do something there,
Well, please do.
but you know what? I want to show off because
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not This is probably like terrible move tactically,
Yeah.
but I want to do a 6 and a 4 of clubs.
So that's
three
three
successes.
successes. Okay, there's only 3 of them up so far. You and yes, because you can create multiple successes with this, you can do multiple damages, and there's no consequences here, right? These things are just sitting there. There's nothing they can do to you. So you just almost almost a no look Clint Eastwood. Actually, the image I'm getting is from NCIS Ziva. Just sort of just pop, 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 and all you just hear ting, 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 like you're hitting things at the shooting range, and they all kind of go whoopity, 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 whoopity.
Agree with you. I don't like clowns.
They're not
Artemis is
clowns.
kind of Artemis is kind of keeping an eye closer to like their specific area.
Mhm.
Are they more like jesters?
They're actually just sort of almost like a ghost outline. They're just cut out of sheets of tin, right? They're just
Oh, they're like
sort of like little
silhouettes.
short arms and a little round head and little shoulders and then just a body shape, right? They're not
It's
even
a,
painted. They're just silhouettes.
Kois is gonna say,
Interesting
one
how
that
many of
pops
you
out.
turned them into clowns, though. That's really interesting. That says a lot about
Well,
you,
said,
people.
You
Hey,
said
it's
Jack,
the Jack
in the box.
shit.
That's,
but
that's,
that's
loading
that's
right
just
there.
a mechanical
First-
thing.
The
spring.
first thing I thought
Yeah.
was
that's the
that
first
scene
thing you
from
think
Elf.
of. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, see, again, so you admit it. That's on you. I didn't do that.
No.
Without looking, Artemis is going to reach behind her, grab Koas's
Yeah.
jacket, and
Yeah.
pull her with to kind of keep moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna go
Sid's
with.
definitely
You
also
go,
in
and so the
we
four
need
of
to
you
move.
just running through the gathering gloom. Behind you, just like a chorus, is just ding, 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 ding. It's just running into each other. It's turning into like a round where it's running over itself, and every time it ends, another one of these things, ping, 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 along the sides beside you. You realize at some point that it's just a terror thing. Like it's just, it's
Scare tactic.
they're just chasing you out. Nobody
We were already leaving.
seems to be doing anything, but still, by the time you get to the gates, you realize how easy it is to mistrust, to get time wrong, especially in the scrap where it's so deep and so dark.
And Artemis is going to be the last. Like, she's going to, like, show everyone the exit and be,
Yeah.
like, the last one in to just kind of watch.
So for the other three, Artemis runs you up to this pile of rubbish that looks like every other pile of rubbish out here on the outside of the wall and lifts up like the flap of a cardboard box, and there's a tunnel. But it's only about 4 feet long, and at the other side you can clearly see the inside of cupboard doors. You open them up and
Narnia.
you're in a little, it's kind of in like Narnia in reverse. You can,
Narnia.
as you go out of those, you find yourself in this little shack in the rail yard.
It's a neat trick.
So we'll go back to
Delilah's just like pinching the bridge of her nose, like, what did I agree to? This is so much more than I thought. I don't know what I was expecting. Jesus Christ.
A little bit more lively than handling the dead, isn't it?
Yes.
Does your heart
Thank
ever
you.
beat that fast?
Admittedly, no.
Well,
Just sort of
welcome to the scrap. It's
chuckles.
pretty common.
Maybe you shouldn't be handling one of those boxes.
That was literally what I was thinking. No,
I'm gonna
that's
kind of.
maybe we go home, get a rest, and just meet back at the legs of David tomorrow.
Didn't we want to give the box to Verite?
Is it too dark?
Yes, the legs of David.
Well, we're in the
Tomorrow.
city.
Yeah, it's fine to walk around at night. It's,
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
It's
you
not
got a
London.
cop with you.
I'll lead us there.
Official business. Yeah.
You know
I
what?
mean, you're welcome to go home if you want. We can drop it off.
In for a penny, in for a pound. Whatever. Let's do it.
All right, this way. I'll lead us off.
And as you start to walk away, you
He starts by going in the wrong direction.
he's always late, not always lost. But you realize as you sort of walk away from the wall and away from the scrap that there's a certain odor about the four of you. You smell like melted plastic and sweat and fear and old tech.
Ode to Technosifer.
Yes, yeah, very much so. Yeah, for you, this is just normal. This is just a trip. But,
That's
you
why
know,
she has the
well,
mask.
I won't even say normal. For you, it's like camping, right? Because you normally do your work in the city, but at least you've been out here before. So for you, it's like camping at a familiar campsite, at least.
Is it illegal to go into the scrap?
No,
Okay.
absolutely
It's
not.
not
It's
Highly
just,
advised.
discouraged.
it's just not
It's
done
discouraged.
if you're not
Okay.
a technosopher, right? It's dangerous, and putting yourself at risk is considered almost
Some
almost
of the
a crime,
uppity ups.
right?
I've noticed there's a
Well,
lot
Delilah
of
might
cast.
look down on it, but
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
lot of
Delilah's like, why the hell am I doing this? And then she has
Yes.
to remind herself what it's for.
You are, yeah, and yes, those two phrases, caste or class, and what the hell am I doing this for, are absolutely key elements. Yes, this system is elitist as fuck. If you're not a builder or one of the Citadel people, you're nobody. Right,
which is
technosopher
why
or
Sid
not,
is so
right?
weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, technosopher or not, they get poo-pooed as though they were astrologers, right?
Yeah, Delilah finds Sid extremely like is there a word that's worse than weird?
Eccentric,
Peculiar?
because eccentric's like weird but not dangerous.
Just bizarre. Like
Bizarre,
she,
yeah, okay,
she can't comprehend him.
Why he would do things like hide his apron and yeah. Okay, I like that.
As we're,
Yeah, yeah.
as we're walking, Cole's is gonna pull Artemis aside as we're going. Do you need to tell me you interact with these people like frequently?
I met
interact
them.
with which people I just met.
Oh,
You two
Then-
will have you drop back. These are
Not-
you want to have a
Not
private
those
conversation.
guys,
Yeah.
but those technosophers, they're dangerous.
I know they're dangerous.
Yeah, but I don't know. How often do you go to the scrap?
Whenever I need supplies, some piece of
I'm-
tech.
I was thinking maybe you should limit like the amount of time you go to the scrap.
You're
It's
being a worrywart again.
I know, but yeah, I mean, kind of points of the bandages. Clearly, there's some merit there.
Yes. I mean, I've got my fair scrapes and, bruises and scars from the scrap. It happens. But the scrappers aren't dangerous they recognize other technosophers. It's not like you're gonna hurt each other. They just go after noobs because, you might have cool things on you and they can take it.
You're certain.
Yeah,
Yes.
why? I'm the one that told them you were with me.
Okay. So I'll trust you on this.
Also, did you tell a child to steal things
What?
from inside
No.
the city in order to be a militia member?
What? That's ridiculous. Why would I ever interact with a child in the first place?
Apparently, you
got
came to my
two s-
patron's house
Ah.
to ask about me.
I did come to talk with you. You talked with me there. We spoke.
Yes, and you mentioned going to the scrap, and you also talked to. the
Don't know what you're
child.
talking about.
What's the name of this child?
If I did speak to a kid, and I did encourage him, I only encourage him to pursue that kind of drive of investigation. And it's not stealing if it's an empty place that no one's touched in a long while.
Then looting.
No, it's not looting. Wait, what do you think you do at the scrap?
I'm a treasure hunter.
It's just grabbing stuff that isn't used. I mean, I think that's a double standard right there.
Wow. Okay.
That's
Wow.
As you step into the area with the legs of David, you can see it's on a fairly large plinth, and on the plinth there are 3 wreaths of flowers sitting very reverentially kind of between the big toes of the 2 feet.
Is that common?
No.
Can I walk over and see, is there anything written?
Yep. Who were this? It says Artemis, R.I.P.
What does the next one say?
The next one says Coes. Oh no, sorry, Coes wasn't there. The next one says Delilah, R.I.P. And the last one says Sid, R.I.P.
Does the handwriting look like
Yes.
Veritas from the letter?
Yes, it looks exactly like Veritas from the letter.
I am going to take all of these wreaths
Uh-huh.
and walk over
Mm-hmm.
to Veritas' little basement
Yep, lights on.
hovel,
Yep,
and
the rest of you following?
I'm-
Oh yeah, Sid's got.
Yeah.
You can't see the smirk on his face, but
I'm not even going to knock.
Nope.
I am going to walk in
Yeah.
and I am going to
hit your head on the junk.
Yeah.
carefully tread my way through the little valley of junk.
Yep. Somehow, though,
And-
when you open that door, you got the, maybe it's because you've got the 3 wreaths in your hand. It's gotten even more condensed in here. There's been a
I
shift.
kick it open.
Yeah, and you have to
Gotta
kind of
put some
almost
force on it.
shoulder your way through now.
Fine by me.
But
I
you
go
get
in there.
yeah, the table's empty except for like a little piece of newsprint that's got some stains on it. It looks like he probably had food wrapped in it. And he's just sitting there looking at you. You're alive. Thank you for bringing those back. If somebody else dies, I can just change the names.
She's going to take them and just sheath them over his
Yeah. I am also happy you are not dead. And he can't.
You-
Trying to use his mouth. He could just do this, but he's trying to use his mouth to pull them up and off.
I mean,
You didn't even wait 24 hours to announce us dead.
You have a bit more faith in me, or do you just run out of ink?
Yours goes up tomorrow.
Ah,
Because you came later. I had to order them special. How am I going to explain how I don't have... Never mind. What did you find? Did you find something, or are you just back here to keep me awake all night?
Show him the box, Cause.
we found something.
Well, you didn't find that. That was mine.
we found something and
Inside
we used a weird box.
The box.
I want to see.
He's
I want to see. I
gonna-
want to see.
He's gonna wait. He's not gonna put his hand. He's not gonna take his hand off it.
Yeah.
But he's gonna wait a sec, and then he's gonna take it off. It's a bit of a
Yeah.
Intimidation tactic.
Intimidation technique.
So he reaches over and
Doll
kind of
tactic.
wiggle. Finally, it pops off. And he puts the lid over there and he looks down. Oh, all three. What was it like there?
Hot and
Fire.
toxic and
blue,
on
blue
fire.
fire, blue fire.
So methane and hot and steam and is that it? That's easy.
There were pockets of what looked like
Did
Not
you not
easy.
leaking
hear us
gas.
say fire?
Pockets of leaking gas, probably mixed with what did you say? It was lithium and
One of you guys said
Copper.
copper.
And hydrocarbons.
Chemistry.
Things you shouldn't necessarily be breathing in.
Things that make it really suspicious why you're looking for them.
Oh, we're not looking for the things that are making that. Those things are dangerous. We're looking for stuff that might not have been picked out of the piles and the stuff around the stuff that's doing that.
So
I'm
what's this,
going
like
to.
a toximeter then?
I'm gonna. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off here.
Oh.
I'm just gonna kind of put my hands on the kind of desk, and I'm just gonna lean in. I'm gonna ask. I want to know what are you using this for? What are you looking for here with this information? And I'm gonna interrogate him.
Absolutely, yep. Give me
Uh,
an interrogation roll then,
sure.
or play, I should say. Yes.
It's gonna
Good
be.
cop, bad cop. We're all
Yeah,
out of
all
good
in one.
cop.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a 6
And
and
a
a
two,
2,
so that's-
and
yeah.
so with my interrogation of spades for me.
Yep. Okay, so that's
so that's two successes.
plus your interrogation. You deserve a bonus from something else, or it just means you get to play the two cards. Still,
let
it's
me
2
just
successes.
Check. For interrogation, information is paramount for the militia. They're experts in methods necessary to gain information, be it cold reading, questioning, or reading body language. The skill requires time and a dedicated space.
Yeah.
Once the play has been made, the player can question the mechanist who will provide a sincere and complete information for
Yep.
each success on what has been asked.
Perfect.
It can only be used once per target.
So you have 2 questions you can ask him that he has to answer correctly.
All right.
I like this.
So, the first question I'm going to ask is, I guess the most straightforward one here would be what is this information? How is this information useful for him?
I make things that make the world better that don't involve using the way we do it now. And I think it's better. And I need more stuff so I can make more stuff and make it better. Like this guy. And he reaches down and you see the process of him starting to heat up one of his little automatons. Like that, but bigger and more useful. And like you saw the other day with the lights. He's pointing at you, Sid, when you seemed the most impressed with the lighting thing, so yeah.
And then I guess the second question.
And they're absolutely sincere about that. They mean this, yeah.
Second
I
question.
don't think Verite is capable of lying. I don't think he
Yeah.
has
It
that
doesn't
level of-
occur. Yeah,
Yeah. Guile is
It's just
not
getting him
his-
to make sense. That's
Yes,
the issue.
yeah. Trying to get the 90% of the conversation that only happens inside his head. Yeah.
'Cause he doesn't interact with people.
Second question.
This character's
I asked-
frighteningly easy to play.
How is that useful?
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna ask. Sincerely, how much do you need to really make a difference?
You know how a tech launch can start when just one little piece of garbage starts to roll? And then it hits two, and then those two hit more and more and more, and pretty soon a whole side of tech mountain's coming down? I'm hoping
Yeah,
to be
it
that
happened on
first.
our way in.
Yeah, I thought you guys smelled like. Yeah. That.
Right, because it's us that smell.
Oh, I smell too. But I smell like me and you don't.
We smell scrap.
But you. Sorry, what was the question? What was the question? I got distracted.
How much do you need? It was like
Oh,
how
yes.
much?
I
do you need?
want to be that first pebble. And I think I can do that. I just need stuff nobody else has got.
What
I don't even know what it
else?
is yet.
You don't know what we need to get you.
No, just the scrap is full of stuff, but it's been picked over
Yes.
and over and over and over, like you know. But imagine in those places where nobody's been able to go, imagine how much cool stuff is in there.
So we're looking for something that maybe no other technosopher has found.
Right? And
Or
then we'll
how
figure
about
out something
helpful?
cool to do with it.
How about you seem to have a special mind, right? How about we use stuff that other technosophers deem unimportant, but you may have a good use for it.
Well, let me show you what I can do. You said fire, right? Fire and
Blue
like
fire,
hot
blue
ground
fire.
and blue fire and methane is. How about this? And they reach out and pull on a pile of stuff, a mountain of shit. It all just kind of goes and almost falls, and then this backpack and weird headpiece umbrella thing all comes out, and he slams it on the table. I call it a water umbrella. You fill up the backpack with water, and then you put on the headpiece, and you can see it's got an actual umbrella on top, but it's got hoses on it to go all the way around. And you pump it, and the water comes down all around. It keeps you cool, and it puts out all the fire, and it'll even help you breathe some because it keeps the smoke away from your head. It goes for about 2 hours, but you do have to pump it.
Sid immediately is like, ah. He thinks. It's like, well, you can't use it in the boilers because then the water will just heat up and you turn the man into a crab.
But if you kept moving, it makes sense. If you keep
Yeah.
moving in the environment that you saw, this would work. There's also this, and he reaches into another pile, and another almost avalanche happens. Then he slams another thing on the table, and it's just a little box about this big with a nozzle at one end. And he's, that one, it's all full of water and some chemicals, and when you pull this, tie it to something first. It comes out, it just almost explodes in foam, but the foam is full of stuff that puts out fires.
That's something we could use.
And then, you said the blue flame. Oh, right. And he pulls on another pile. And this one actually comes over and just buries him for a second. Just before you can move, an arm comes out with a gas mask in it. And then the other one with a gas mask in it. And he climbs out, and he got another one held under his chin. And he reaches and digs around behind him and slams another one on the table. And those will keep out the stinky gases, and you'll be able to see some of you already got them.
Yes. Does anyone want the foam thingy?
But yeah, between the foam and the water umbrellas, you guys should be fine. You'll have like 2
Delilah, you
hours.
should have one of these masks, and she'll hand it back. hand to her.
There's only one foam fire extinguisher.
Yeah, it's
So
basically
one for each.
it's a suppression. Yeah, it's a suppression sprayer. It is one, but it is the impression that you get is if you set this off, it's going to take a large area of fire and put it out.
It's a grenade. It's
Yeah.
a fire grenade.
Yeah,
Let's
it'll
see
also
if it's
cool the area off dramatically as well. Even yeah.
Well, Sid already knows where that's getting tossed.
Thank you, and I'm sorry for the hard questions.
So same rules as before. Anything you find that works, you get to keep. I get all the broken stuff.
Fair enough.
And you're saying in that area that we found, the 3 paper things happened. That area should have some good stuff for you.
It's got hydrocarbons and lithium and copper, so there is every chance we might find batteries. And
What's
you
a
wouldn't-
battery?
Yeah.
What?
It's an old word for thing full of energy. That did something, and I don't know what it is, but I know I read in some places something to do with copper and lithium.
Right. Well,
Thing full of energy.
deny out
Opposite of me.
for batteries.
Out of character briefly, lithium and copper are parts of 2 completely different types of battery.
Yeah.
Just for anybody that
Lithium
didn't know,
and-
yeah.
Yeah, copper metal.
Yeah, the
can
lithium ion and copper.
Can I
yeah.
discard and pull?
Yes, absolutely. Anytime you got 5 minutes, you're allowed to.
Ooh, I got my Joker. My Joker's on max success, right?
Save
I want to
that.
play poker
It's not-
with you,
it's
by
not
the
like a
way.
king. It's not like-
Yeah.
Yeah. A
So,
king you
yeah,
have to play when it pops. The Joker you can keep.
Artemis will make sure that Delilah has at least a mask and some goggles.
Yeah. Well, there's enough of the water umbrellas. He pulled out one, but there's 2 water umbrellas and 1 foam suppression sprayer and 4
I'll-
masks.
I'll take the foam suppression because I only have 1 extra inventory slot.
Yeah.
So
Oh, good point. The water umbrella backpack and headpiece takes up 2 inventory slots because you have to have a backpack full of water and the head thing, which is kind of encumbrancy.
Yeah.
So it takes up 2 slots.
So I have at least a mask.
Yes. And you just
Yeah,
have to
I'm out
stay
of-
close, right?
I'm out of slots.
It's an umbrella, right? So
I'll
it's
take
and
the
it's
other
I keep doing
water
this like
umbrella.
it's one of those shitty little stupid golf umbrella things, but it's like a proper size umbrella with water pouring off the sides of it in a fine mist. So you could certainly have somebody under there with you.
So yeah, so Sid's got one because he had extra space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Artemis can take the other one if no one else has space.
Okay, and it is evening, so I'm assuming that's going to be it for you guys for tonight. On
I
the
actually
what do you wanna
have
do?
something.
what would you like to do?
So,
Oh, yes.
as we leave Veritas' bunker,
Yeah.
I hang back. Not enough to seem suspicious, just I'm the last one to leave his area, and I approach him, and I get really close to him, and I say, I could have you arrested for treason right now. You are risking the lives of Citadel employees. You say you can make the world better. I don't understand how that's possible, but somehow you have my attention. Use it wisely. And she walks away.
1 minute, please. I did a thing.
She turns back around.
And he reaches down to that table where he's got his little robot that he heats up.
Mm-hmm.
And you see him go through the heating up process. But this time what comes over the edge is not a single little hook and then another one. It's a hand. A hand that's this big. And it comes up and grabs the edge of the table. It can just barely reach. And then it grabs another hand like this and it comes up and this little head tilts to the side. It's not a ball. It's shaped like my head, like an upside down egg. And it tilts to the side and looks at you. before it climbs up onto the table, but it doesn't do it like a machine. It does it like a human would. One leg comes up, then the other leg comes up. They've got like little feet on them. It's the level of detail on these things, I'm assuming, impressed you before. Like you said, the level of detail was at fingertip specialist level. I've been doing this all their live stuff. This thing, the hands are this big and they're fully articulated.
Her breath kind of catches, but she hopes he doesn't notice. She keeps a straight face, but she looks at it for a really long time.
It also walks all the way. I mean, it's a tiny table, but they never made it more than a couple steps before. This one walks all the way over to the far edge of the table where you are, and it looks like it's going to walk right off the edge, but then it stops and it sits down on the edge. Dunk, dunk. Puts its little hands on the edge like that and starts kicking its little feet. And that's when the steam runs out, so they go and it's sitting there right in front of you on the edge of the table. This perfectly shiny little silver dude. Yeah.
I look at that.
Yeah.
And I look at Verite, and I say, like I said, you have my attention. Use it wisely. And then...
Take it with you, it's part of your pay. I did yours first.
Oh. Alright. She picks it up gently, and she packs it nicely in her med bag.
Yep.
And then
I feel like Verite has more people skills than he's letting on. A lot of us. Because he has Delilah in his hand.
As you pack it away, you see on a pile of stuff. You're kind of, I guess maybe this is enough to cause you to relax in here a little bit, because I think I get the feeling like Delilah's been really tense in this space. But you kind of just, your shoulders drop for a second. You kind of look around, and over on a pile of stuff, there's a little tiny arm, little metal arm. He started the next one, and it's holding a little tiny crossbow. The next one is going to be able to shoot little tiny metal crossbow bolts.
Oh my god. Does
Yeah.
mine have a little tiny scalpel?
Yes, it does.
The crossbow bolts.
Oh
are
no,
finishing nails.
it actually, yeah, there's a okay, in for a penny, in for a pound. You said it earlier. I didn't finish the description apparently. It is wearing a tiny leather apron, and in the belt of the apron is a tiny scalpel. There is no med kit, but yeah, there is a tiny scalpel, and
Beggars can't be choosers.
there's a series of buttons on the back, because these things are programmable just like the constructs are, right? And one of the buttons shows the hand closed around the knife. So apparently if you charge this thing up and start it again and you push the button, it draws the knife at least.
Oh, that's so cool.
Murder spree.
Yeah. As long
just
as it only
imagine
has to go
Chucky.
that far, it's gonna go on a violent murder campaign.
We're gonna come back to the shop like after we're done on the mission, and Vertus is gonna be dead, and it's gonna be the robots that
Killed by his own creations.
It's been Chucky.
That's the secret to
You
this whole
think
campaign.
God stays in heaven because he's scared of what he's created?
Yeah. Wow, that got dark. Oof.
That's just a quote from a Spy Kids.
That's Spy Kids.
From
Only.
Spy Kids?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
No wonder that.
I
yeah.
think that's what Steve Buscemi says.
Yeah. In the second
about
one.
the creatures that he created in the second one.
Yes. And after killing the creator, they go on to become the big bad. I'm predictable, but I'm not that predictable.
God
I'm
damn
a
it,
different
guys,
kind
I'm
of
not a
predictable.
Karen.
Yeah. So,
That's what a Karen would say.
I would have
yes.
sworn that it sounds like it's supposed to be a quote from something else. But
Yeah.
yeah, no,
It's-
that's the
Oh,
original quote. It's from friggin' Spy Kids. That's terrifying. Similar to vein to every day we stray further from God's light.
What is that from?
That's just in
From Spy
general.
Kids.
Yeah, a similar meme.
Yes, very much. I like that better. Let's do that. Absolutely, positively. So, that is what you have as you walk out at the end of that encounter with Verite. It's evening in Florence again, and maybe particularly for Delilah, it
I thought
becomes.
you were gonna say Florida.
No.
That's a horror
in
movie.
Yeah, ooh, yes.
Yeah, I
But-
went recently. It was pretty nice.
It's a great place to visit, I'm sure. You didn't meet Florida Man while you were there, so you were
No,
fine.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I stayed in one
Where's
little
Sarah
hotel.
when you need her?
But, like I said, maybe a little more poetically for Delilah than the others, but even so, you can't help but notice that these little silver things that Verite has built are somehow fundamentally different than the constructs that are walking around this city now, lighting the lamps and sweeping the streets. There's that same level of automation, but there's something unnecessary about the constructs. Delilah, you have a thought. I'm going to give you the thought. What you do with it, whether you decide to bury it for now or process it at this point, I will leave it up to you. Maybe, just maybe, we never needed the cadavers. Maybe, just maybe, we could have done this. Maybe, just maybe, we still could. I'll let you process that for a minute because I'm looking at the time. So, as the four of you head off into the darknesses to your own homes,
Yeah, Artemis is gonna look to Koas and be like, I'm exhausted. Bye.
been up for almost, been up for a
Yeah.
whole day and a whole night. Same with Coes, yeah.
I'm gonna get a couple hours sleep, but then actually, I think I might have to. Here, take this, and he's gonna give her the foam. Do you have space for the foam extinguisher?
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Unfortunately, I actually have a job to do, so I might do a case. In the meantime, tomorrow while you guys explore, and then I'll join you for the third place or whatever.
I thought you might feel compelled to go and explain to Thomas what you really meant before he starts
I don't think
stealing
he does.
historically valuable shit from all over the city.
If I remember correctly, he did say he didn't say just go loot stuff. He said
No, but
Like,
he
empty
said that
going.
to a teenage boy who read it
who only
as
heard
who
go
only
loot
heard the
Yeah.
bit where he gets to go and take shit that doesn't belong to him,
Selective
and
hearing.
he gets to be a cop in the process. So yeah, yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
be
that-
careful,
it's-
Koas.
It's called civil forfeiture.
Yeah.
To be honest, the cases they give me, they're the most careful I am. During these
Right,
cases.
you've got your own whole other
Yes, your personal stuff.
agenda
so,
thing.
Yeah, your Sherlock Holmes stack. So yes, thank you for that. I kind of forgot you weren't going to be here next week.
Potentially,
Potentially,
I
or
might
part
weasel my
part
way
of it,
to
and yeah,
have,
okay.
the first hour.
We'll figure it out. We will figure it
We'll
out.
figure it out.
Either way, thank you for setting it up. Either way, so that's you, Sid.
Sid knows he has work in the morning, which
Yeah.
the morning means probably 4 hours from now. He heads home and talks to, well, he doesn't talk to anybody really. He heads home, kind of puts his apron in a pile, kind of, the you can tell it's the wash later pile. And walks past another, a closet full of identical aprons.
Yeah.
Has a very
On
brief
the
shower.
inside, they're
come-
stitched Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah. Has a
Okay,
has a
important
brief-
question, Sid. Is there a Sunday?
Sundays are for picking stones.
Okay. You don't have a dress
Uh,
apron for Sunday?
no.
Okay.
And so yeah, so once he's done, he goes back to his little his corner, kind of the table that he eats at, and he sits down and basically relays the day to his parents, and mentions to his mother. It's like, well, this Verite fella, you would have liked him. He's weird as fuck, but he's thinking. He's thinking in ways that people don't think around here. We'll see what happens, Mom. I'll see you when I see you.
And I just somehow see you making tea, furry slippers, bathrobe all ratty-assed. Like it's the only piece of clothing that you've got that isn't like really presentable. Is that right, or is that just me? You tell me. What does he look like?
Sid's home clothes are a pair of very, very worn slacks. He goes barefoot. It's warm enough in Italy. That doesn't bother him. So he walks around barefoot.
On them tile floors.
Yeah, it doesn't bother him. He's from England.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, is the temperature really the thing that prevents
no.
people from going barefoot?
Not in Michigan.
Yeah, he's it's relaxed.
It's okay, there's no dogs here.
Yeah.
And the oxen are all constructed, so yeah.
Only dogs are his toes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty relaxed. You know, the tea is the tea matches. He does have a bathrobe.
Yes.
I would say it would be. It's not ratty.
Okay.
It's well cared for.
Yeah.
But it's definitely old.
Yeah.
But his teacup matches his bathrobe.
Nice. You just kick your feet up and relax for the evening.
Kind of relax, and he eventually falls asleep in a chair.
Nice. Yeah.
Feet are replaceable.
Okay.
Feet are replaceable.
Artemis,
Yes.
as you go back home, your stalker is not there. Although now that you know that they're there, you look in and there's kind of a shape in the bush. They've been there so often. It's not like the bush is growing around them, but they've crushed enough of it in various places that there's like a stalker-shaped dent in your bush. That didn't get better.
Oh.
Yes. What do you do when you get home? They're not there.
She'll set the different things they got from Verite, like down by her door.
Mhm.
And then kind of like think to like, okay, I said I'd help this person in the morning. Okay. Like, and like
Yeah.
just like kind of in her head kind of figure out, okay, I can sleep actually.
Yeah.
And like we'll just like in artist fashion to the couch.
Yes. All right. Crash on the couch.
To crash on the couch
Yeah.
so that when this kid eventually shows up at the ass crack of dawn because
Yeah.
they're excited,
Yeah.
she is there and
Mhm.
we'll hear it.
Yes. Perfect. All right. Which brings us around the block. First of all,
To the
out of
fancy
character.
part of town.
Chris, we good?
Mhm.
Okay, just making sure. In character again. Delilah. Walk us home. Walk Delilah home that night.
Okay. So Delilah spends longer than usual getting home. She doesn't necessarily take the long way home, but she is exhausted. Like more so than she's probably ever been given her upbringing.
Sure.
She finally makes it home and walks up the steps to her grand penthouse. Opens the door, walks inside. I think her med bag just falls to her side.
Yep.
And she walks up the curving staircase of marble and stone to the second level, where she hangs up her tattered coat and her ripped apron, and she takes a shower, a very long shower. She comes out, hair is down for once, and she's in just like a night robe and she sits on her bed, and she just kind of hangs her head in her hands without a word, and it kind of fades on that.
Yeah, I love it. And that is where we will fade to black for this week. Thank you, everybody. That was a session. That was wonderful. We had everything. We had action. We had some insights into who these people are. We made some plays. We played some rules. We did some stuff. It was good. I enjoyed every second of that. So thank you all for that. On individual levels, thank you to Bison_Stonefist. Sorry, it's a joke. Now I can't stop doing that. Thank you to Thunderscape_7, right? No, there is no underscore. Just Thunderscape7, a la Robin. Thank you so much to Wayward Knight for joining us this evening and all the other evenings. And thank you very much to Phil for, I know you made time and space bend to be with us here this evening, and I appreciate that very much. And we will see how that, we'll figure it out. So, with that, there's 2 thank yous left. Thank you to chat tonight. You guys were great. Thank you. It was nice seeing some names there that we hadn't seen for a while. It's good to have you all back. It's cool that we figured out how to pin the content warnings. That's very nice. So that's also useful. Thank you to all the people in the future on the Facebook. No, that's not the one. On the YouTube. No wonder I can't put it in the right place. I keep putting it in the wrong place. Thank you to everybody who's watching this on YouTube. You watched all the way to here. Please hit the like button. I'm going to assume you did, or you lost your mouse. One of the two.
Me ran away.
Yeah. Either way, hit the button and hit the notification bell so you know when I finally get around to posting stuff. But with that, we are 6 days a week now, soon to be 7 days a week, streaming here. So pretty much every night, if you got nothing to do, pop in and watch. The best part is it isn't all the same people. We've got 7 shows. We will have 7 nights. There's going to be 5 GMs, 6 in the future. So yeah, I don't know anybody else doing this. I know places that have got 1 or 2 GMs per channel, but I don't know anybody that's got a different GM every night. And I think that's the coolest part about this. We've also got this. I got to describe this to somebody in the real world yesterday. We've got this pool of players. There's sort of like 20 people that are just variously in all the games. So we've got this amazing talent pool to draw from. We are all Dirty 20 Gaming. Absolutely. That's a beautiful way of putting it. And I could not be prouder to be part of this. I got to describe this to somebody the other day, and somebody who I know a little better said in odd tones, and they run it. And I realized that this is kind of getting to be a big deal. And I love it because it's a big deal for the very, very best of causes, which is gaming with each other and having fun and being supportive and being friends and all the good stuff. Everything else comes with. So, with that thought, especially when you're out there in the world meeting those people that don't have this community to fall back on, please, until next time, be nice to each other. Good night.